Let's talk about carbs. I think because of that whole pyramid where carbs is the most predominant thing you should be eating, a lot of people have a high carb diet. And carbs is so easy to come by.
And they're cheap.
Oh, they're so cheap and delicious.
Yeah.
So what's your...
Well, I like the saying, if you eat like the food pyramid, you'll look like the food pyramid. In a lot of people, that's the case. You know, you look at different people's genotypes and somatotypes and phenotypes. The people like yourself who are very thin and naturally thin and small bone structure and things like that, you could eat like the food pyramid and you'd be fine, but that's a very select, that's an exception, not the rule. The rest of us have to eat carbs based on our activity.
Yeah.
So
there's people who can tolerate carbs better than others.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have clients, and Narelle is one of them. Narelle, 750 grams of carbs every single day, for weeks.
For a six-pack.
And she's shredded, If I weigh twice as much as her, and if I ate 750 grams of carbs a day, I would turn into a blimp.
So how do you know how well someone can tolerate carbs?
Well,
how would a general population person pick up on whether they're carb tolerant or not?
Well, what they should do is when they're looking at their how should I eat, okay? So we know that protein is of prime importance. If you don't eat protein, you die. If you don't eat fat, you die. You can go the rest of your life not eating a single carb and not die. That doesn't mean it's optimal, especially if you're active. You're sitting on your ass watching Dr. Phil eating bonbons all the time. Yeah, you have to eat sugar-free bonbons, but you wouldn't have to eat another carb the rest of your life because you're just simply not active.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us that are active, carbs are important, but you don't need to overdo carbs. So you would set your calories, set your protein, set your fat, and then work your carbs for that energy balance. And just understand, like 300-400 carbs a day for most people is plenty, and for some people might be too much. And what we will typically do is we like the carb cycle. So on the days that you train, you're going to get more carbs. The day you don't train, you're going to eat less carbs. So basically, as you're training, you've got a gas tank, right? Your liver and your skeletal muscle is just going to keep your glycogen, which glycogen is the stored form of sugar. As you're training and your blood sugar gets low, your liver will secrete glucose to keep the blood sugar stable. And as you train, your muscles will chew up muscle glycogen so that you can produce force and energy and things like that. The key is to reduce that down and then add enough carbs back in so that you don't spill over that gas tank, because then you're going to waste gas and you're going to end up turning that
because there
sugar
is
to
a
fat.
limit of how much stored glycogen we can
Correct.
have, right? And you spill over that, and it's when it kind of gets
some people, like I can probably handle more carbs than you because I weigh twice as much as you. But you also burn through carbs faster than I do. So there's I would love to give somebody an equation and all this, but it's impossible because you don't know. You'd have to play with it just like everything else. So you set that guideline. So let's say I set up a maintenance diet for you, say 15 calories per pound of body weight. Maybe we're going to do, for you, because you like carbs, I'm going to put you at 1 gram per pound of protein, maybe anywhere from 20 to 40% of your calories from fat, and the rest will be carbohydrates. And then if you're gaining weight and it's not good weight, then we cut the carbs down a little bit and the fat down a little bit. If you're not gaining weight and you want to gain weight and muscle, then we just add more. But you make small little tweaks to the diet. You don't reinvent the wheel every time you write it.
And you've mentioned to try and have them around your training days. What about complex carbs and simple carbs? Is there a preference?
Look, at the end of the day, sugar. All a complex carb is a lot of little sugars put together, right?
And it just takes longer for it to be broken up, which is a more steady release.
Correct, and a lot of that has to do with how well does your pancreas work? How well are you secreting enzymes to break that down? How well does your stomach work, your small intestine? A lot of it has to do with that. So just a good general guideline, more complex, lower glycemic load type of carbohydrates away from training, and you can afford a little bit more sugar around training.
Okay.
Right?
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.